Hello everyone, I hope all is well. This video was inspired by a long comment from a fan, which I will read and then evaluate. Hello, I recently came across your videos when searching for Marriage is Not Worth It on YouTube. I found your video, My Journey into MGTOW, and immediately became a lifelong fan. As I watched it, I kept thinking, is this guy talking about my life and a 29-year-old guy in his final year of medical school? I had confidence problems in my first 2 years of medical school, probably as a result of my constant struggle. Jane moved in with me because her rent had run out, and she offered to pay me half the rent and split it. Blinded by love, I agreed Jane didn't do the housekeeping, so I had to do everything from mop the floors to wash the dishes. When her problems became particularly difficult, Jane would cut herself on her thighs. She refused to see a psychotherapist or psychiatrist about her problem, instead going to the psychiatrist to get her adrenal and Xanax filled. She would always get a higher dose of Adderall than she needed so she could stay awake. Jane became sluggish and had inconsistent employment and hours, but she paid the rent on time. She ended up getting animals she couldn't afford and expected me to care for and pay for them. I learned that she had a heroin addiction after having an opiate addiction first. She refused to get assistance for her addiction issues during this entire ordeal, so I asked her to leave when the rent money stopped coming in. We fought to make up until she had enough money to pay her late rent. She had had enough of her scientific degree a few months prior. Despite being a super senior, she had failed introductory chemistry 4 times due to poor study habits. We had our last major argument after talking about our futures. I attempted to assist her study when I could and told her that chemistry isn't like other classes, where you can study the night before earning a butt, but she never listened. I informed her that she wasn't emotionally stable and that I wouldn't marry her. I believe that if I had called her out on her obese cow-like behavior, she isn't big, but you see what I mean, I would have received a milder reaction. When I told her to pay the rent or leave a few weeks ago, the relationship ended. I had to take some time off from my clinical responsibilities to deal with her departure, but it was worth the reprimand from my attending physician Roma Tones, because after I explained the circumstances to him in a one-on-one meeting, he said he understood and wouldn't report me to the School of Medicine for being absent. When women tell men to man up, they are essentially projecting their problems onto the psyche of a man. In reality, they want to tell themselves to woman up, but it's easier to project their problems onto males instead. Men who work full-time are still criticized for not doing enough cooking, cleaning, and housework. My friend the psychotherapist says that because Jane is probably a narcissist, she needs to become homeless or on welfare before she realizes how terrible she is. When people with narcissistic personality problems fail, they have no one else to blame them, and they start to look inward and see the mistakes they've made. People say that women don't end up on the street because they aren't good enough. Another intriguing thought is to consider how many homeless women would be living on the streets if people were only allowed to support themselves via work and not by inheriting money or living off the generosity of others. Jane ruined her life in order for you to feel sorry for her and saved her like Captain Save. You were supposed to be her doctor in a white lab coat, and I guarantee she couldn't have imagined you dumping her in a dumpster in the manner that you did. Many women who believe they have a man in their emotional grasp fail to notice when he walks away because they are so confident in their ability to manipulate him. I'm done for today. I appreciate you listening. I'll see you in the following clip.